Okay, guys. So the other day, I didn't get to finish due to time constraints. The last part of the section, which was dividing complex numbers. So we need to finish that up right now. So now there's this rule. There's certain rules in math, like you're not allowed to have a square root in a denominator. There's also a rule in math that you are not allowed to have imaginary numbers in a denominator in the bottom of a fraction. So as you can see in example 5 here, we have to simplify these. We have to learn how to get rid of the complex numbers in the denominator. So what we're going to do, even though it's showing divide complex numbers, it's going to be an alternate way of doing. We're not actually going to physically divide. We're going to end up multiplying. Because remember, division and multiplication are in the same family. So what we're going to do in example 5a is to get rid of the 1 minus 4I in the denominator, we have to multiply it by a fraction that has the same thing on the top and that it does at the bottom. And to decide what it is, we look in the denominator, 1 minus 4I, and the two numbers or the complex numbers that we're going to multiply by are the complex conjugate of 1 minus 4I, which we learned back here on our previous lesson. It's just switch the sign. So if we have 1 minus 4I, we're going to be multiplying both the numerator and denominator by 1 plus 4I. So what are we gonna end up doing for this is we're just gonna be foiling a bunch and multiplying and combining like terms and simplifying from there. So as long as you know how to multiply and FOIL, you'll be good here. So let's take a look at, let's start foiling here on the numerator. So first and first, outsides multiply, insides multiply, and the last multiply. Be careful, 3I times 4I is 12I squared. So that's the numerator. Now let's FOIL the denominator. First, outsides, insides, and lasts. So that would be negative 16I squared. Be careful, it's negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, and I times I is I squared. So now that we FOILed, now we're going to be looking to clean things up and combine like terms. So in the numerator, let's focus on the numerator first. So the 2 will just end up dropping down. There's no constant to add with it right now. Actually, let me back up a bit here. I can save a little bit of space. We learned the other day that I squared is equal to negative 1. So that means that this is plus 12 times negative 1, which will be minus 12. Okay, so plus 12I squared turned into minus 12. So now we can combine like terms. We can do this 2 here minus 12 here to get negative 10. And then we can also add i's on the top. 8I plus 3I is plus 11I. So the top we cleaned up and simplified. Now let's try to combine like terms and clean up the bottom. So let's do this I squared. So if it says minus 16i squared, that'll be minus 16 times negative 1, which is plus 16. So we can add 1 plus 16 to get 17. And then the i's, add them together. 4i minus 4i is 0i. So the i's will be eliminated in the denominator. So we're left with a fraction. Remember in the beginning of the problem, I told you the rule in math is we're not allowed to have imaginary numbers in the denominator. Now looking at our denominator, it only has a 17. It's a real number now. So we have accomplished our goal in this problem. Now, this for future reference, you would remember this is a fraction after all, and you're always on the lookout to see if you can reduce fractions at the end. However, this guy can not be reduced. 10 does not reduce, divide by 17, and 11 does not divide by 17. So this thing is my answer. Negative 10 plus 11i over 17. Let's try the same procedure for letter B that we just did in letter A. We are going to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. 3 plus 4i would be 3 minus 4i. So we're going to FOIL. So first, outer, insides, and be careful with the last. Negative 2i times negative 4i would be plus 8i squared. Now let's FOIL the denominators. First, outsides, insides, and last, minus 16i squared. Now we're done foiling, so we're going to try to clean up and combine like terms. Usually, just like the last problem, I worry about my I squareds. Remember, we never ever want I squareds in our answer. They turn into negative 1. So this would be plus 8 times negative 1, which changes to minus 8. And then on the bottom, this will become negative 16 times negative 1, which is plus 16. So now let's go to our answer and combine like terms. In the numerator, 15 minus 8 would be 7. And then the i's, minus 20i minus 6i would be minus 26i. Now move to the denominator. 9 plus 16 would be 25. And then the i's, negative 12i plus 12i would cancel. So leaving us just with a 25 in the denominator. And as I said for letter A, again, this is a fraction. We are trying to see if we can reduce it, but we cannot reduce this. 7 does not divide by 25. 26 does not divide by 25. So that problem is done. And as promised, we no longer have i's in the denominator. And that ended the lesson. It was shorter because it was I couldn't get it done in time on the previous one. So you all have a great day.